Hi everybody, and welcome to Pen of the Week. This is a series where I look at a pen and an ink combination that I'm excited about this week from my sort of currently inked setup. Now, first thing I'm going to do is recap last week. So last week I looked at the Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age with Robert Oster Blue Water Ice. Now, I loved using this pen and ink this week. It's been absolutely fabulous. This ink is beautiful. It reminds me in a lot of ways of Konpeki, but it's an Australian ink, which is awesome. So yeah, I really enjoyed using it. The Visconti pen itself is beautiful and wet, and it's a pen that I like having inked, and I like having it inked with sort of more vibranty blues. I used to have things like Oxford blue in it, but the more vibrant blues tend to sort of pop a little bit more on the page, and things like in my bullet journal, that was really nice to see. But let's get on to this week, make these videos as quick as possible. So the ink this week, which we'll start with, I got in a sample from Goulet pens. I buy a lot of samples from Goulet, and I decided to get this one. It's Monteverde Coral, which I think was launched at the LA Pen Show this year, 2019. I think the bottle says special edition, but I'm not sure if it's going to be an ongoing thing like some of their other ones, like the DC Super Show Blue, which I love. I really quite like this ink. I like orange inks. This is sort of like an orange. It's almost got a sort of a pinky overtone to it. It's quite nice. And the pen I have it in is the TWSBI Eco with a medium nib. So let's have a look at it now. So here is, this is Clairefontaine paper. So this is a TWSBI Eco with a steel medium nib. You can see there in the little swatchy thing I did. I normally try and do a bottle top for the swatch, but as it's a sample, I just did a little smear with a letter opener, and then scribble in the middle of it so you can see what it looks like in a pen. Monteverde Coral 2019. So the pen. Love this pen, love the ink capacity of it. It gives you the chance to write solidly for a week, as opposed to running a pen out sort of every couple of days. This is going to last a lot longer, which is awesome. It takes almost the whole 2 ml sample, which is brilliant. It's an affordable pen. In Australia, these retail for about $50. You can get them cheaper, of course, in other countries, but they're a really, really solid pen for that price. It's the same price as an Alamy Safari, and I actually think that personally, I think the TWSBI Eco is a better pen than the Safari. Now, the writing experience. The nibs are made by Jowo, so they are really nice. They're sort of a proprietary nib to TWSBI, but they are made by Jowo, and they're beautiful. They've got a really great feedback, for lack of a better term. You'll see that in the writing sample in just a second. But they're really pleasant to write with, and I actually really quite like the design. Now, this ink, the shading is beautiful. I'll show you a close-up of a picture of it now, but you can see around where it pulls, there's a lovely dark sort of line, and then where it's light, it's got this nice sort of pink overtone. Yeah, it's a really lovely colour. I think coral's a great name for it. It is a wet, smooth ink. Monteverde inks are pretty sort of smooth and wet. They have technology in them to make them lubricated, so you do get a really lovely writing experience. And it's an interesting orange, as I said, with the shading. You get some nice depth of colour, and even at its darkest, it's sort of got a really nice sort of burnt orange sort of colour to it. So, as you know, with this series, what I'm doing is I'm writing just a few words from Dracula by Bram Stoker. As you can see here, we started at the beginning of chapter 1. So, let's continue that now. And where we left off. So, as you can see, the pen is smooth and wet. It lays down a lovely line of ink, and this ink does help that. You can see that that's even still glistening wet on this lovely Clairefontaine paper, of course, but, you know, it's a good example of that. So, there's a little feedback to the nib, which I actually quite enjoy in these TWSBI pens, but, you know, yeah, it's laying down a lovely wet line. I just think I just got some Serenity Blue in there as well. It's a really nice pen, and it's a really lovely pen to write with, and I'm really going to enjoy using this ink. Now for me, this ink might be a little bit too light for, or the wrong sort of colour for a lot of professional use. I can't see myself filling in document forms, you know, with this ink, but for headlines and for note-taking and things like that within things or editing, it's a nice colour that will stand out on the page, but is a little bit different to the standard reds and even sort of the standard oranges, really. So it's a colour I'm excited about. It's a pen I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to trying this ink. As I said, it's an ink that is, I haven't got a bottle of it, but I generally don't buy a bottle until I've tried a sample of an ink. And so far I'm really liking it, so if I can get my hands on a bottle, I think I might. That was Pen of the Week for this week. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications button, all of that stuff. Find me on Instagram or Twitter at @the_offstage_me. Get in touch if there are things you think I should be looking at, and also get in touch if there are ways you'd like to support the channel, either through product sponsorship or anything else. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you later.